Iris has been, without a doubt, one of the best learning experiences I've had, not just in college, but throughout my entire life.
You know, one thing I really love about Iris is just how excited I am to learn every day that I come to class. More so than any other class I've ever taken on Biola's campus.
The thing I really like about Iris that stands out is how available all the professors are. You can tell their hearts are really invested in this, and they're just really committed to the program, and that was obvious since day one.
Mostly, this might sound a little cheesy, but definitely the integration of everything and a lot of it with the professors, their different specialties, and all the different elements they bring, and watching them banter and the knowledge that they pass on to us.
There's something really awesome, for lack of a better word, about being able to see these 9 professors just go at it. You have moments where Thomas and Muehlhoff you're worried that they're going to start wrestling or something.
They're starving here. They can go to a soup kitchen, but I'm just not
They
going
can
to
go to a soup kitchen, they're not
Yeah.
starving.
I'm not going to belittle the economic.
And the fact that they can question each other and challenge each other and grow with each other in front of students.
I really enjoyed Iris because there was a group of experts there, and each one of the faculty members were an expert in their field and really brought a unique just insight and a unique vision to the class.
For example, we'll watch Inception and we'll have Dr. Grace come up and talk about the psychology or the psychoanalysis of the characters, and then we'll have Professor come up and talk about government and law in the film.
The professors, the time they spend on us, inside of class and outside of class.
What happens is a lot of times in session, I'll still have questions or just comments and stuff that I want to talk through with a lot of the professors. They'll be available for up to like 30 minutes to an hour. I've talked to some of them for like an hour after, and they'll just sit and listen to all of us.
I think it's this integration idea of taking all these different disciplines and integrating them together, and then on top of everything, okay, what does that mean for my Christian life, my walk with Christ?
There's something really special about that integration because as opposed to another campus, a secular campus, you wouldn't have the common ground. Each one of those professors, first and foremost, loves Jesus. And that ends up being, at the end of the day, what we all care about most.
A healthy fear of the Lord is one of the most important things we can ever have.
Another thing that I really loved about Iris is hearing everything from the students. I transferred here, so I don't get a lot of chance to interact with non-English majors. But hearing from students from different disciplines brings this really rich worldview, this really rich, different academic worldview. Hearing from psych majors and art majors, film majors, all sorts of people. It has been great to get the different aspects, the different views on everything we're learning and reading and watching.
I started trying to integrate it, and I was on my way to the path, and I was like, what is pain? I was not paying attention, so I could think about how do you pay attention.
Iris was really an opportunity for me to integrate as an art major, not just the practical elements of what am I supposed to be doing with my life, but even specific things as to what is my role as an artist.
To die with my shoes on and my Bible open. I'm not interested in dying on a golf course.
It really challenged me to think about what kind of movies I'm actually watching. Am I just watching like a movie for brainless entertainment, or should I try to pick films that actually portray a good message and a good theme?
I really loved how even in the first week, God and the Bible has brought us so much from every person.
That's been really cool, and I really appreciate that.
For me, being a musician, Iris was especially interesting because the arts and humanities were highly represented in the room. We had everything from communication and philosophy. We dealt with film and whatnot. So there was a lot of artistic support in the room, as well as theology and the way those kind of connected.
And really these topics have stretched me in ways that I never have before, intellectually, spiritually, emotionally.
Some of the topics that we would talk about were seemingly had nothing to do with integration, had nothing to do with faith even, but we just start talking about faith and all of a sudden you realize like, this not only has something to do with my faith, but it has so many huge implications for the way we live.
Being a visual journalist, One of the big things that I do is tell people stories.
While I may or may not agree with some of the professors in the way they kind of ripped apart large parts of children's movies, like How to Train Your Dragon, whether or not I actually agree with that, definitely taught me that as I get older, I'm going to have to make sure I'm looking carefully at what my kids are watching, and even the small things, to make sure that it's not setting up a worldview that I don't agree with.
Found it really interesting how much we focused on putting yourself in the position of others and thinking, why would they think this way, instead of just naturally arguing with what they're saying. And I think that normally I try to do that in my life, but I realized through Iris that I never do that with strangers.
What it would be like to experience a full frontal assault. Have people shooting directly at them as they got off a landing craft and started to charge onto the beach.
That's one of the other big things about Iris, is that this material tends to stick with you better than a traditional class where you just have stuff thrown at you. This is a class where ideas are really brought forth in this open arena where things just tend to stick better because they're brought through conversation.
Now that I'm graduating, I am so scared to go into the real world, but it's encouraging to know that I can grow and I can learn in this kind of atmosphere, even beyond that. I see professors doing it, they've been out of college for ages.
So you've learned a lot of things, you've had a lot of good conversations, you watched different movies, but if all you do is go back to your semester and say, yeah, that was fun, that was a fun thing I did, over interterm, and it doesn't change the way that you act and interact based on what you've learned, then I would consider this time wasted.
I love Iris, and I think it's been a great experience.
It's really just been an invigorating experience.